if I know I'm going out somewhere, just make sure my phone's fully charged up, make sure my AirPods are fully charged, and then usually before I leave, I put the phone on bus times mode and target that bus stop that I want to get to. It will tell me, you've got 5 minutes until whichever bus is coming. Usually I just then kind of set out and get on with it, basically.
What are your ways of making sure you know your route? Do you practice alone or with someone?
I mean, I suppose it depends on the route, doesn't it? I mean, often if I'm with someone anyway, then I'll practice that, or I'll kind of try and get an idea of what direction we're going in. And that can be literally, I suppose on a short route, that can literally be with anyone. So that can be with somebody that's actually qualified. Or it could even be as far as, somebody's asked me if I want a hand getting off the bus, and I said, oh, do you know where the station is? And they'll be like, yeah, I'll take you. And it's just a matter of memorising the route.
Do you use any apps to help you travel around London?
Yeah, so I've got there's an app that I use if I'm going and walking anywhere. There's an app that I use called Good Maps Outdoors, and it's like a GPS app. And what that does is it will tell you where you are. It will tell you what you're going past, if there's any sort of shops or cafes or other sort of interesting areas. You can also do a route with it from your location, and it will give you details of what directions you need to take. Obviously it's not 100% because what is, but it's better than nothing. So yeah, I've used that if I'm going walking. I've used that if I'm in an Uber sometimes and I'll want to know where we are sort of thing, then I'll just use that. But it is a good app generally.
What would you say are the pros and cons of travelling around London as a VI person?
I think pros are, I think it depends where you live. I think if you're in London, it's very easy to do. You can just sort of, once you know where the bus stop is, you can get on a bus. You get train staff will assist you onto trains and whatnot. They will also call ahead to the station you're coming from. If you want to do it, you can get Ubers. Generally, they're pretty good. Cons, you've got to think about, especially if you're doing trains, you've got to think about sort of saving enough time, because you get occasions where assistance doesn't turn up. There might be a scenario where, I don't know, like the bus stop's closed or their bus is on diversion. I had a situation recently where the buses had diverted from East Dulwich Station all the way down Lordship Lane. So I was coming back from work and they weren't stopping outside here. So I had to get off at East Dulwich Station, which is about half an hour walk away from here, and then get a cab from the station back up to the flat. You've also got to bear in mind that you're going to, run into either well-meaning people that try and get in the way and try and offer your help sort of thing as you get off the bus. You've got to bear that in mind, I think, when you're going out. And I think 9 times out of 10 you can deal with that sort of thing. If people ask, then that's fine. You can always say yes or no dependent on the situation, but you are going to get people that I certainly have every now and again, that don't actually speak but just grab my arm as I'm getting off, which isn't all that helpful even if they think it is. And yeah, and in terms of walking around, I think again, I wouldn't want to do it if I was time critical, just because there is going to, on a route that I know it's not such an issue. On a route that I don't know, it's inevitable that I'm going to end up somewhere I don't need to be, sort of thing. But on a route I do know, even then, we had a situation recently where they were doing building works in, so obviously I work up at St Thomas's at the minute, and they were doing building works up in the part of the grounds that I usually walk through to get into the hospital. And I had to go down a different route. So you have got to, I think it's about sort of being organised if you're going to go travelling when you're blind, I think.
Does the app you use announce any cancellations or delays? Or if not, is there any other apps you use to get this information?
It's hit and miss. So I've got a app that I use for the buses. So that's like the London Bus Times app, which is primarily for people in London. It is existent in other parts of the UK, but it's not brilliant. And what it does is you can target a certain bus stop, and it will give you a list of the buses, and it will say the first one's, it might say, I don't know, the 176 towards Tottenham Court Road is coming in 1 minute, and then in 5, 10, 15 and so on. So you can do that, and then you can click on that bus and you can look at its timetable in real time in relation to you. So that's pretty good. Sometimes it will say if the bus stop's closed. Sometimes the bus stop is closed. Sometimes the bus stop has recently closed and they haven't actually updated it on the app, so that will happen. But generally it is pretty good. Same kind of thing goes for, because I use Trainline if I'm going out on trains anywhere sort of out of London really. then again, that one generally good. Kind of is good in real time, but again, you get the odd time where obviously it's technology, it doesn't get it right all the time. So yeah, I mean, sometimes it will kind of not happen the way it should.